Silver price and gold price continue their march higher. They are not defying reality. Instead, what I say is they are accepting and settling into a new reality, a reality that we knew where it was coming, a reality that you likely could see as the future as you just looked at the basic fundamental factors as to why the value of silver and gold would continue higher. We're going to talk about all those reasons today. Okay, but first, let's do a quick update on what is going on in the market. Before that, let's do the very most important thing, and that is say thanks to you for joining us today on this video live stream. It's a big deal when you're here. You really are the most important part of Ron's Basement. This couldn't be possible without your participation. Basement Dwellers United. And we are in a good period of time for the silver and gold price. And depending on how long we all live, right, I'll be here every day. We're going to be in for more and more good times in the future. But let's go take a look. What do you say we go take a look at the silver price? We'll go out to Yahoo Finance and we will go to let's do the gold futures first. What the heck? Shake things up. We love gold. We kind of talk more about silver, but look at that, guys. The December 24th. Oh, hold on here. December 24th. That would be Christmas Eve. And we're going to talk about the holiday season coming up here a little bit later. But the December Christmas Eve gold contract is at $2,752 per ounce. Wowzers. Look at that. That's the maximum. That goes back to what? 2001. So that's about a 25-year chart. Take a look at that cup and handle, and man, look at that breakout we've had in gold. But let's go to our friend silver. We love our silver and see what's happening right now in the futures market. Looks like they're trying to whack it down a little bit here. Okay, $34. Again, Christmas Eve. It'll be interesting to see where this contract settles on Christmas Eve. We've talked about $44 silver, but right now, we're at 34. Will that 3 be changed into a 4? Will we see $44 silver? I still believe. That's 2 months, right? Today's the 21st of October. 2 months. That's a long enough period of time for the price of silver to skyrocket. We'll see how that all plays out, but very interesting. What we don't want to see, basement dwellers, is this 3 turn into a 2, a 29 or 28 or oh, Lord, $27 per ounce. But I think that is extremely unlikely at this point, and silver continues to demonstrate its strength. Now, the mainstream media is joining the party. Why is that a big deal? That is a big deal. The mainstream media, right? Because, guys, as we've talked about, there is such a small amount of money of the financial assets, all the paper, unicorn fart dust, right? Make-believe, fiat, whatever you want to call it, such a small, infinitesimal, if that's a word, portion of the world's wealth, like 0.5%, are the king himself, Rick Rule, the ruler of the precious metal world, always brings that up, 0.5%. If the mainstream media picks up, right, and the sheeple out there who watch TV and read Reuters, right, if they come along, we could see 4, 5, 6, 10, 20 times the amount of money, right, from the sheeple coming into the precious metals market. Okay, I won't do the sheep thing anymore. Let's see what is Reuters saying about the silver price and the gold price. This does matter. Reuters is one of the biggest financial news agencies in the world, right behind Bloomberg and Ron's Basement. We are growing, basement dwellers, and it's a big pleasure. Right? You chose right now to be here, so I'm going to give you some value because global uncertainties propel gold to record highs. Whoa, wowzers. I didn't even see this. Guys, Reuters in their headline has silver. Let's go back to that. What? What? Do you see that right there? Hold on. That deserves for us to get the crayons out. Where's the crayons? There's the crayons. Hold on here. Wow, that's a pretty good circle. I'm getting good at this. Silver soars. Okay. Get rid of that. Let's go down and see what they had to say here. Summary. Because we like summary. Silver. So that's their first thing in the silver. Summary. Woo, that's a tongue twister. Silver's in the summary, and the summary says that silver scales the highest level since late 2012. That's a huge deal. Silver has not been this high since 2012. I had a guy yesterday. Let's get back to this. I need to look you in the eye. Somebody brought up a point in the comment section like, oh, there's all kinds of people who bought silver at $35 and $40 and $45 that want to sell. There's not. I argue that point. I don't agree with that. Hold on here. And I'm going to show you why right now in the chart. Briefly, here's silver. Let's go out to the max level. Okay, so here, oh man, this is not long enough. Well, anyway, this is a good way to show you. Go to full screen. This is why we don't have a lot of people looking to sell silver at the current price. Okay, because let's get this over here. Okay. There's the current price right here, okay? $34. If you look, I'm going to break the crayons out here again. This is why we don't have to worry about that. In my opinion, right, is because here's $34, right, roughly. It wasn't real straight, but you get the point. Silver was only above this point back in 2011 for what? Like 6 months, maybe a year. Not a lot of people bought silver up here. There's a lot of people who bought silver down here. $30. Make sure I got you on the screen, which I do. All these people that bought silver down here, right? $30, $20, 2020 for decades, or 10 years, whatever. 25, 20 briefly. Hopefully you bought some there. 2022. Okay, all those people that bought silver at that level, guess what, Buttercup? They're in the money. They're in the money. And that probably includes you. How many people out there, if you want to say it in the chat, bought silver for $40 an ounce? Not many. Most of us are in the money. It might sound funny. No more singing for the rest of the live stream, I promise you. But we aren't going to sell. Do you want to sell your silver right now? No, you don't want to sell your silver. Back to the Reuters article. Reuters, as I like to call them. That's their, I hate when this happens. There we go. Silver, their top point, right? Scales to the highest level since 2012. Gold to reach $2,900 an ounce. Gold has risen over 32% so far this year. Gold rallied for a fifth straight day on Monday, hitting a record high on uncertainties around the U.S. election. That's like November 5th, okay? Ongoing Middle East tensions and expectations of central banks' interest rate cuts, while silver hit a 12-year peak. Everything is in our favor, guys. Everything right now. That doesn't mean that can change, right? But remember how 3 years ago, I'll tell you a secret. Everything was working against us. The Fed was raising rates. The dollar was going up. Everything was against us. And gold and silver fought the good fight. Now, and really just recently, so many things have changed to our favor that now we're like a sailboat that has like perfect conditions, a tailwind, however you want to say it. Let's go down here. Look at gold. Woof. Quote, the uncertainties of the U.S. presidential election outcome is one factor supporting hedging demand for gold. The other probably are the geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. Okay, thank you. That comes from UBS. That's like the giant Swiss bank. I think they're the ones that bought Credit Suisse. It's like a massive 5,000-year-old bank, whatever. Not that old, but old. Giovanni Stuvano said. Then they talk about the presidential election, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. In red, ongoing solid demand from central bank also supports gold, in my view. We look for gold to reach $2,900 an ounce over the next 12 months, supported by further rate cuts from the Fed. Everybody is cutting rates. The Bank of England, the EU, and now they're saying It's the world is cutting their interest rates. Okay. Traders are pricing in a 90% chance that the Fed will lower rates in November, according to the CME FedWatch tool. Gold tends to thrive in low interest rate environment. Oh, we got one more thing here. Helped by bullion. Here they talk about silver in Reuters. A new day has arrived, silver investors. Helped by bullion's rally, spot silver rose 1.1% to $34 per ounce, its highest level since 2012. We've covered that almost 2012 times now. There is little to stop silver's upward march if gold continues to set new highs. But any downside could turn the 32.55 resistance into a new support level that came from Kinesis money. Very interesting. And we've talked about that. We're going to talk about that a little more in a second. Absolutely crazy. Oh, let's go out. I want to go out. Let's go. Let's see how long. Are you guys dying to know? I mean, we can't wait to hear from our old friend Jerome Powell again. Let's go see how long we have until the next Fed meeting when they cut interest rates again. Up here, the next FOMC meeting will be in 17 days. Man, when's the election? It's right after the election. It's after the big BRICS meeting. And if we go down here, this is the website, guys, FedWatch, CME Group. If we go down here, we can see what the odds are of a rate cut. And here's the current rate, 4.75 to 5. There's a 90% chance that they're going to cut it by a quarter point from 4.75 basically to 4.5. And there's a 10% chance now that they won't cut rates at all. We'll see how this all plays out. Man, it is going to be a crazy, interesting couple weeks ahead of us here. Okay, Susie, thank you. Just alerted me that we have 2 super chats. Silver Surfer, let's pull him up. A great friend of the channel. Silver will be $64 by the end of the year. The analytics point to this, not my hubris. We love you, Silver Surfer. Thank you. $64, man. I'm gonna have you on. I tell you what, brother, if we get above $44, I want to have you on. Love it. Thank you, Silver Surfer. Thank you for the super chat. And then our good friend Dan W. Ron and family, some love. Thank you, Dan. Man, you guys, this channel, the people that are here in this community are really second to none. So thank you guys for, number one, again, being here. Don't forget, you can subscribe to the channel. I have a special going right now on subscriptions. They're free. They always have been free. They always will be free. We just want you to come back, right? You're part of the group. You're part of the family. You're part of the basement. You're all down here with me. 800 people. Wow, it's crazy. We're gonna have to start limiting, but if you subscribe now, you'll get in. Okay. So we are going to see shortages in silver. It hit me last night. You know when something hits you, and it just makes sense? We are going to see shortages in the silver market on both the industrial level and on the retail level and on the investment level. It's coming. We're going to have a situation that unfolds similar to what happened in the nickel market, a little over a year ago, when on the London Metals Exchange, they had a massive short squeeze in the nickel market. The reason why we're talking about a short squeeze again in the silver market is very, very simple. Okay. The fundamentals are pointing in that direction. Massive short interest right now on the paper exchanges. Massive amounts of demand, massive deficit in the silver market. And this is where I think is very interesting, right? Nobody's talking about the silver squeeze. A few of us. Nobody's talking about it, but that's good. We aren't going to spread. Let's keep it our secret, because that's when these things happen. When the general public generally doesn't expect it to happen. Nobody expected the great financial crisis to happen. Were you alive in 2007, in 2008? I was sitting down here. I remember sitting down here in 2008, whatever year, 7, 8, whatever it was. and I had CNBC on the television. I remember the S&P 500 being at 666 and thinking, oh, the mark of the devil. And I think that was actually the very lowest. It's like 10 times higher now. It's insane. We're in a bubble. Bubble, trouble. Silver and gold will be your friends. So let's talk about the breakout quickly. Okay. And then we got a lot to cover. And there's so much going on in this silver market. Why don't we go out and do a quick update on the price? Here we are at Pinbeck's channel sponsor, Pinbeck spelled capital P, capital I, capital M, capital B, capital E, capital X. Pinbeck's. Fun to spell, fun to say, fun to save big money when you're buying silver and gold. Compare their prices to the other big online bullion dealers. Hint, hint, you might just be shocked. And for me, I always like to get more metal for my money, but it's also very important that I work with a company I can trust. I have now completed at least 5, and I actually think it's 6, what to me were large transactions with Pinbeck's. Every one of them went off without a hitch. These guys are quality. The brothers that run the company, they're CPAs, they're good people. They want to get metal into the hands of the stacking community. If you want to support Ron's Basement, Pinbeck's supports Ron's Basement, so you can help support Pinbeck's. I'll never tell you what to do. All I'll say is please consider them next time you're looking to buy some silver, gold, or platinum group metals. You might be very, very surprised like I was. Let's press the button here. Ooh, okay, silver, $33. Okay, silver, 33. Oh, silver, $33.84. This is showing red right now. Guys, silver, $33.84. Gold, $2,732 per ounce. We have a lot to be grateful for. If we close red today, no big deal. Right now, let's just be very happy, right? If silver can even just for the next week, okay, stay above $32.50, $33 per ounce. That is critical. It can go higher. Right. This coming Saturday, we could be talking about $36, $37, $40 silver. No, joking. That can definitely happen. But what's critical, all right? And the guys at Kinesis said it. We said it last night. Silver Hermit said it. I've heard a lot of people say this, is that we hold what had previously been resistance. Let me draw it for those of you who weren't on last night. This is a critical situation that we are in with the silver market right now. So let's go to the 3-month chart of silver. This is the futures price. Let's go to the 6-month chart. Whoop. Okay, there we go. Let's get out the crayons quickly. And here we are. Okay. Don't forget, this was the battle, epic battle for the ages, 32.50 silver, right? Boom. We talked about this a million times. We broke through. We're at 34. We won the battle of the silver. Now, we could do one of two things. We could keep going straight up, right? Which would be awesome. The other thing that could happen is from here, let me move this out of the way. This is so important. This is what you really need to pay attention to. And the darn washing machine is going crazy over there. Apologize if that background noise is bothering you. Let Susie know in the comments and I can shut the washing machine off. Is if we come back down in silver price, if we consolidate, that we hold this level. This is what's critical to watch, guys. Like I said, right, we could continue straight up. You do a little arrow. But if we do come back down a little bit, this is where we want to hold. And then what ideally, if we do pull back a little bit, we want to see it bounce back from there. And this is where Silver, my friend, is talking about, $64 silver by Christmas. So that's the big deal. And the easy way to explain that is that what had previously been resistance, right? We fought to get above 32.50. That now becomes support because there's a lot of people out there, a lot of traders, a lot of investors. Are you part of this group? This is why it's so critical that are thinking, well, I kind of missed the silver run, blah, blah, blah. But if it gets back to 32 or 32.50, I'm going to buy. That's why that is so critical. Okay. Oh, this is wonderful. Silver and gold need to become the hottest investment going, right? If we want the price to skyrocket, it's got to become the biggest thing. Everybody's talking about it. No, that's wrong, guys. That is absolutely wrong, right? We live in an echo chamber. We love gold and silver. We talk about it all the time. 99% of the people do not talk about it, okay? What we need, this is all we need. This is good news. This is good news. All we need for much, much higher prices in silver and gold in the West, in America, Canada, Australia, Europe, England, anywhere you guys are joining from, and you guys are joining from all over the world, all that we need is for silver and gold not to be loved. They don't have to be loved, right? That's the euphoric stage. That's like 3 or 4 stages out. That's when you're feeling, that's when we're all hanging out on a beach together, right? Clinking this stuff. Hear that? That's the sound of silver. Hello, brightness, my new friend. Okay, anyway, that's the euphoric stage. That's out there. What we need, all we need, is for silver and gold to be just a little bit less hated. Okay, we love it. We're in an echo chamber. We're the smart ones. You're ahead of the curve. You showed up early for the sold out theater show. You got your ticket. You got your seat, right? We don't need for silver and gold to be euphoric, and that'll be great. Like I said, we'll be on a beach. We'll be doing this from a beach together. Wait till you see my physique. Anyway, no. All we need is for it to be a little less hated. And again, that's another Rick Rule thing, or at least that's where I heard it, because the gold to silver ratio, especially for silver, wait till you see this. Let me show you this. Let me pull this up. This shows the gold to silver ratio. For silver to explode, right? Right now, the gold to silver ratio is, 80, 85, somewhere in that range. If we get a gold to silver ratio, thank you, Susie, for that. We got a super chat I need to recognize here in a second. But if we had a gold to silver ratio right now of 50, silver would be way above $50 per ounce, right? We're at 80. 50 is kind of the recent average. When we look at these numbers, this shocked me. These are old numbers, right? But in Japan, what was that, 500 years ago? It was 5-1. Okay, if you go up near the top, during the reign of King Croesus in Lydia, 550 BC, it was 13-1. We are at these are crazy numbers. Germany, okay, 10-1. So medieval Italy, when they ruled the world, for a while it was 8-1, 15-1, 9-1. And sure, I'm not going to argue. I know things have changed. Things are, I guess to a certain degree, different now. However, the gold to silver ratio is out of control. And, here's the best way for those of you who are new to the channel to think of the gold to silver ratio. It's like a elastic band, okay? And if you think of this as the gold price, and you think of the silver truck as the silver price, as the gold price goes higher and higher, see how it's stretching out and higher? This is where we are right now, right? This red elastic band is an 85-1, 80-1 gold to silver ratio. It takes 85 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. You divide the gold price by the silver price. It's, we do some complex math down here in the basement. So the gold price continues, and I got to go back further, and to go higher, pulling it, but there's also all this tension. That's what they call, and it feels so good, right? A slingshot move. I'm not saying silver is going to become more valuable than gold, but this tension that's in the gold has to be released, and we get maybe to here, which is a 40 or 50-1 gold to silver ratio. I mean, we forget, we talk about it not often enough. It's a big deal, and it will make a difference in the silver and gold price. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go to this great article. Oh, hold on here. I apologize. Hopefully we're still live. Sometimes I press the wrong button. Hopefully you guys can see me and hear me still. Hopefully we're all, I feel you in the basement, so I believe you're still here. Thanks again, Silver Surfer, Don W, and Silver Star. Thank you for the super chat. Man, you guys are being super. Congratulations to all our fellow basement dwellers. Yes, guys, but thank you, Silver Star. But man, we got to hold 32.50 in silver. That's critical. And don't you think for a second that the COMEX and the LBMA are not going to levy a huge fight to try to tamp the price down. Okay, they will try. There are powerful forces out there that really do not want to see the silver price explode. However, the physical market, the changes in the world, China, India, that they have a different plan in mind, and it's a plan that's going to play out. Let's go see what let's go check on the gurus for a minute and see what the gurus are saying about silver and gold. There's some very interesting points. This is from Silver Phoenix 500. Gold drives the session highs, and silver ended last week up 5%. Now, Jesse Colombo is super respected in the precious metals community. Here's what he had to say. He's the founder of the Bubble Report. He said he doesn't see froth in this market, right? This market, guys, has gone up very consistently as the rally came after a period of consolidation. Gold is just getting started, and retail investors, haven't fully jumped in yet, he said. I believe the real FOMO, which is the fear of missing out, is still ahead as we approach 3,000. And doesn't that make sense to us? Right? I mean, like, I think when gold hits 3,000, that's when we could really, and again, that's not going to be the euphoric end stage, but that's when gold becomes less hated by the general investment community. That's when they're forced, right, to stop hating it so much. And that alone is going to be enough to continue to propel the price of both the precious metals way higher. Colombo added that a solid close above 2,700 puts gold on track for $3,000 an ounce. Rick Chichan, president and COO of Asset Strategies International, echoed the sentiment, expressing optimism about gold's future. Gold at an all-time high is still dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. This rally is just getting started, he said. Quote, investors should stop waiting and jump in. Woo, he's really optimistic. Chichan added that those concerned about froth in the gold market need to consider the broader landscape. He pointed out there are limited options for investors looking to park their capital. If you have extra money, where are you going to put it? We talk about this, guys, and there is extra money. Hold on, let me look at you. This is a big, major, critical point. There is extra money. There's $6.5 trillion sitting in money market accounts, bank accounts, or however you want to think of it, cash. $6.5 trillion. The entire silver mining industry produces about 34 billion worth of silver every year. Do you know what that's like? What? I don't know. What is that? 0.005. I mean, it's incredible. These are real world numbers happening right now. Okay. We did get to 200 thumbs up. I'm going to take this moment to lightly ring the 200 cowbell. Thank you for the thumbs up, guys. Keep them coming. If we get to 400, we'll blow the whistle. Okay. Now let's get back to this article. You didn't come to look at me. No. Okay. Where are they going to put it? Okay. If you have extra money, where are you going to put it? In the bank? Are you going to put extra money in the bank when inflation goes up to 15% again and you're going to make 2% on your money? No. Short-term bonds when interest rates are dropping? No, Jesse or Chichan. Do you think the stock market is less frothy than gold? Think about that. right? If you got cash that suddenly you're losing money on because the bank's not paying you much interest anymore, are you going to put it in the stock market? Everybody knows the stock market's a bubble. Nope. Just look at the chart. Gold prices are only going higher. Now let's talk about silver. While gold garners much of the attention, some analysts suggest that investors should keep an eye on silver, which continues to outperform in the precious metal sector. The gold to silver ratio, like we just talked about, has dropped sharply below 82 points, falling to a 2-week low. That's not low. Okay, 50 is low, is average. 60 is average. Despite this, analysts note that the ratio remains relatively high, as its lowest point this year was in late May, around 72. December silver futures last traded at $33.40, blah, blah, blah. Tavi Costa, one of our favorites, partner and macro strategist at Crescat Capital, said in a social media post that silver's rally is only just beginning. Let's do some complicated math, guys, because right here, they told us that the low of the year in the gold to silver ratio was about 72. So let's break out our calculator quickly and let's go do an update on the gold and silver price. Come on, baby. Let's press the button there. Okay, silver's down 23 cents. Come on, silver. Let's just see if we have 27.26 gold price in the gold to silver ratio. We're at 72 right now. We would have $38 silver. That's just this year, okay? That is just this year. And it's all a bunch of BS. We are living in the fantasy world, fantasy island in this current economic financial system, okay? Look at this. This was one of the best slides that I've seen in a long, long time. I'm going to pull this up for you here, right here. This was from a Harvard MBA, Larry Lepard. Okay, thank you, Susie. Got another Mr. Shovel super chat. You guys are great. He pointed this out. Look at the dollar. All right, look at the dollar is monopoly money, right, guys? Right. I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question about the U.S. dollar, and I want you to think about this. Here's a picture I took this morning. I'm going to pull this up. At the top of the screen, you will see a $1 Monopoly bill. Then you'll see a paper U.S. dollar, $1. And at the bottom are 3 pieces of silver. The one on the right was from Coin Shop Chris. The middle from Big Tim the Silvershire. And the left is from Jake from Jake's Custom Parts. Those are sentimental silver pieces for me. And anyway, as you look at this, I want you to think about this. Okay? How different is the Monopoly money from this paper money? And the key here that really hit me, that I think is the biggest example of why these two, which of these three, which two of these three are more closely related to one another? I think it's a pretty obvious answer, right? The Monopoly dollar and the paper dollar, right? Neither are based on really anything, but here's what hit me. And I think this was, it really drove the point home. And that is that both the Monopoly paper money and the U.S. paper money are only valuable when the game is being played. When the game is up, right? Right? Like this has been, when the Monopoly game's going on, that Monopoly money holds some level of value, right? When the U.S. is the world hegemony, the world power, the world, however you want to think about it, that paper money is valuable. And we know is a strong, solid fact that it's not just the paper dollar, right? We've got hundreds of examples of other paper fiat currencies that have existed that were valuable, but then became worthless because the game was up. Now, if we look back here one more time quickly at this picture, right, that stuff on the bottom, that's silver, and we could throw some gold in there too, although I don't keep any gold at my house. I don't really own much gold. I own a lot of gold mining stocks, so I have a very keen interest in gold. But nonetheless, that silver has lasted through all of those periods. Wow, you guys are being super generous this morning. Thank you. got another super chat. Thank you, Mr. Shovel. And I think that's Danish. Keep up the good work and keep stacking. Yeah, we will. We're going to keep it up. Thank you. Wow, man, there's so much. Okay, is the U.S. economy crashing? Look at this. Former executive from Target, Target, right? Is the U.S. economy crashing? The U.S. economy is struggling. What does that mean for silver? What does that mean for gold? That means as the economy continues to struggle, that we are going to be in a situation that will only result in the Fed needing to start printing money, okay? Period. That's the way it works. That's the way it's going to go. Let's go out and see what the CEO of Target had to say. Not the CEO of Target, a former executive from Target Corporation. This comes from Zero Hedge, and they said consumers are running out of money. Former Target exec offers dire warning ahead of Christmas. Consumers are running out of money. Now, think about that within the context. The reason why it is so important is because America is a consumer-based economy. Sure, we manufacture some things, but we've become, and that's what they've told us, and the Fed has said this, and every big bank has said this, the United States is a consumer-based economy. It is big trouble when the consumer then is running out of money. Let's see what this former executive had to say. He says, quote, "It's very clear that consumers are running out of money. They're increasingly stressed by inflation." Do you feel it? I feel it. And the exhaustion of their pandemic-era savings. When you take a look over the last several years, you see that month after month, everyone is talking about the consumers still spending. They might be, but they're spending less than the growth of inflation. That's critical. And we talked about that with the quote unquote good retail sales numbers last week. Well, sure, just from a nominal numbers perspective, retail sales look great, right? But they're not factoring in inflation, which is critical. When we look at the Stork Advisor CEO, Gerald Stork, told Fox Business, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I guess that's Gerald Stork. Hello, Gerald. Welcome to the basement. Gerald. Okay. Then that Maria Bartimoromo, whatever, asked Stork about his forecast on the upcoming spending season between Black Friday and Christmas. That's when, 40% of the retail sales happen in the United States. The former Target executive said, "I don't expect much, frankly," because I didn't realize this, but Susie, we were heading to a family picnic yesterday, and she was talking about Thanksgiving with the girls, and Susie brought up the point that Thanksgiving's like at the end of November this year, which is very late, which means that the shopping Christmas holiday season between Thanksgiving and Christmas is going to be extremely compressed. And he says that. He says, you have, by the way, the shortest holiday. See, Susie, I mean, not only is she beautiful, but she's also smart. She could be a retail analyst. You could ever imagine. So that's against retailers. Let's see what Goldman Sachs says, because besides Target, Stork was also the former CEO of Toys R Us and noted now the time. Oh, I just said that. Hold on here. Let's go down to, here it is. All right, here we go. Stork's outlook for the holiday season comes after Goldman Sachs analysts noted that the, quote, trade down phenomenon, have you heard about this, has rippled across high-end and low-end consumers. The last time trading down mentioned soared on earnings calls was during the great financial crisis in 2008. What that means is, congratulations, Americans, we're all getting poorer, right? So the real rich people, instead of buying their food at Whole Foods, now they're buying it at the Walmart grocery store. The people that bought their food at the Walmart grocery store previously, now are buying it at the dollar store. Okay, the people that used to go to the Gucci store, I don't know high-end retail. Sorry, guys. This is a Brooks Brothers shirt. I buy them used on eBay for about $20 each, and then I iron them myself, and they look great. They're wonderful. They're like brand new shirts. Hey, you go to a Brooks Brothers store, and they charge you like $150 for a shirt. I get these, and they're pretty much brand new for $20 each. That's how I trade down. I digress. But the people that were wasting their money buying $150 shirts at Brooks Brothers, right, are now maybe going to Macy's. Okay. And the people that were shopping at Macy's for their shirts, their polo shirts and whatnot, are now maybe buying their shirts at JCPenney. And the people that were buying their shirts at JCPenney, well, they're going to Walmart. You get the point, right? The U.S. economy is slowing down. Now, let's get back here. Okay, I got another text from Susie. Let's see what she said here. She said, hey, Bald Guy's here. Hello, Mr. Bald Guy Money, one of my favorite YouTube channels. And Bald Guy, one of my good friends, is here, apparently. So thanks for being here. And he's got a great interview out with Lobo Tigre, an interview that came out yesterday. Don't leave now, but leave later and go listen because, man, Bald Guy, he's got some insights. He's one of the sharp ones. Thanks for being here, Bald Guy Money. That's Bald Guy Money YouTube channel if you want to check it out for yourself. What are the wealthy telling us? What is Warren Buffett doing? Are we headed for a market downturn? Because now the mainstream media is picking up on this story, right? Warren Buffett selling Bank of America, like a lot of his stock. I think he got below the threshold to have to even report how much he owns. Warren Buffett selling Apple Computer. We need to listen to what, right? And watch, maybe not listen. I misspoke. We don't listen, right? We certainly don't listen to like Jerome Powell and the likes of that, but we watch what they're doing. And do you remember Warren Buffett coming out saying, I'm going to sell all my Bank of America stock because I think that they're in big trouble? No, they don't come out and say that, right? They do. And then to the extent that we're able to get that information and see what they're doing, well, it's not a real good sign. And Warren Buffett is building up a cash hoard like nothing before. And what do we know about Warren Buffett? Do you know this about Warren Buffett and silver? Now, I'm doing this all from memory, and I am 54 years old, so don't quote me on this, but I'm 99% sure it's accurate that in the mid-90s, Warren Buffett bought a massive amount of silver. Yes, you know, he was a big silver investor. Now, since then, I don't know that he's really spoken about silver, but he's put down gold several times where he's like, well, it doesn't make a return and whatever. Okay. But there was a point when Warren Buffett him and Charlie Munger bought a massive amount of silver. Now, I'm not even going to speculate. This would be wild speculation to say this, but you never know, right? Is Warren building up all this cash because he sees a piece of fuzz flying in front of us here, because he sees a big move coming in the silver market? It'll be interesting. We had a big Oklahoma bank fail last week, or a small Oklahoma bank fail. It's got a lot of attention, but here's the deal. Oklahoma bank fails closed by the federal agency. The Office of Comptroller of Currency closed the Lindsay Bank on Friday due to, quote, false and deceptive bank records. Okay, basement dwellers. They closed a bank because of false and deceptive bank records. I can't help but laugh because aren't all banks guilty of that? False and deceptive records? Because here's why. Almost every bank in this country is insolvent. I heard Lynette Zhang say it. I've heard a lot. And I have a degree in accounting, and I worked 9 months for one of the big four accounting firms. So I understand banking and finance. And let me tell you something, Buttercup. Most of the banks are insolvent. You know why? Because the banks in the United States bought a boatload of treasuries, of government bonds, when the rates were super low. Now that the rates went up, now the situation may have gotten a little bit better, but the actual assets between bonds that have gone way down in value and commercial real estate, remember that? That's not gotten any better. Commercial real estate book of business that has gone down, the value of the banks don't the banks get to do what's called Disney World accounting. This will be quick, but this is critical to understand. Your bank, right, that bought all those bonds that maybe are now worth 70 cents on the dollar, they've lost significant amounts of value. they're not required to report that as long as they intend to hold those bonds all the way till maturity, which could be 10 or 15 or 20 years. Meaning, though, if everybody showed up at once and wanted their money back and the banks had to sell the bonds, they wouldn't have the money to cover it. Now, look, I'm stating the facts. Not everybody's going to show up at all the banks and want their money. But when they did, remember like a year and a half ago when everybody showed up at Silicon Valley Bank and wanted their money back? And Silicon Valley Bank didn't have the money, right? Because they bought, and so this has happened before. So when we read that a bank got shut down for, the world's becoming very funny. Oklahoma bank fails, and the Office of the Comptroller of Currency said it was due to false and deceptive bank records. Well, you know what? I think it's pretty safe to say it's Disney World accounting, Disneyland accounting in the banking industry, right? There was a FASB, Financial Accounting Standards Board, that came out after the great financial crisis, right? Which allowed them to not have to do mark to market. Like if the banks had to actually admit how much money they've lost in the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 years, right? It would be insane, but they don't have to do that. And I'll shut up on this. I promise I'll zip it. But it'd be like if I gave you $100,000 and said, here, invest this for me. Okay. And you invested it in what's that company called? NVIDIA stock, because that's the hottest thing going, right? And suddenly NVIDIA lost 30%. And so now instead of having my 100 grand, all you had was 70 grand, but you don't have to tell me that. Unless I decide I want my money back. That's how the banking industry works. Sorry, I digress. Biggest news story of the week. Let's be prepared. All right, the big BRICS meeting. Who knows what's going to come of this? There's speculation that we could hear about this gold-backed currency, trade settlement currency. That would be, to me, shocking news. Shocking news. We know about BRICS Pay, this new pilot program, this payment system they're enabling between the countries, and apparently that's working very well. That alone, right, is allowing these BRICS countries to do financial transactions outside of the traditional Western system, which is a big deal. It allows them to, number one, they save a lot of money, is what I'm hearing, by doing it that way, because big like MasterCard, I think it's in St. Louis. We got a big giant, thousands of people work for MasterCard, Visa, the Federal Reserve, the SWIFT system, however you want to look at it. The Western financial system is expensive for the BRICS countries to use, right? They got to do a lot of conversions into dollars and all that. Well, this new BRICS Pay system allows them to do transactions with one another completely outside of the Western system. They can use their own currencies. Somebody had up a screenshot that one of the payment options was, I think it was XAU, which apparently is gold. I don't know. I'm not a guru in this area, but I do know that the BRICS meeting is this week in Russia. I do know that the president of China will be there. Xi Jinping, I think his name is. I do know that the president of India will be there. Okay. I do know that India and China are like the precious metals cornerstones of the world. So it is a big deal. And we know what Russia's doing. Russia's the leader of the pack, right? And we also know, God, there's so much going on. Russia's government is going to start buying some silver. I think that whole thing is definitely a good sign, and that other countries could follow Russia. But I don't know how you feel about this. It didn't seem like it was a huge amount of money. Some people are saying, oh, it's going to create the silver squeeze. We'll see. We'll see how that one all plays out. Let's go out quickly. Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry, Don. Don Indris sent me this one. So we talk about the U.S. consumer. Remember, right? The consumer is the backbone of the United States economy. This is funny, by the way. So get ready to smile. Okay. This is a good one. We know that the ex-CEO of Toys R Us and an executive at Target says, the consumer's done. Well, here's a great visual This came from our friend Don Indris, the one and only Don. He said, it's my piggy bank after 4 years of Bidenomics. And it's not political statement. It just happens that for the last 4 years, we've been under Bidenomics. But as you can see, that's what the piggy is not doing well. You can see his ribs. Oh, boy. All right. Now I want to go out quickly. Basement dwellers. Let's go check and see if our friend, the Oriental Ghost, is up to anything. He always has such interesting things to share. And here we go. We're going to go check on him. Okay, and then we'll go back and we're gonna do an update on the silver and gold price. But all right, huge jump in China overnight. Now trading at silver was trading at $37 in China. We'll come back to that. There's Oriental Ghost. Hello, good morning, Oriental Ghost. From Chinese media, Russia explicitly mentioned silver as one of its reserve assets in its budget plan. This is all new. And BRICS Pay, which includes 9 currencies and gold options for reference only. Wow, we just talked about that. I'm going to read this more. That's a lot to read. But apparently, let's just read that again. Russia explicitly mentioned silver as one of its reserve assets in its budget plan. And BRICS Pay, wow, which includes 9 currency and, like we just said, gold options. And Oriental Ghost is saying for reference only. Let's see if he has, man. Okay, here we go. October 21st. Here is the official data from the Shanghai Gold Exchange. And we emphasize the high because the silver price is always seeming to be higher in Shanghai. There's silver, AG. There's the SGE, the Shanghai Gold Exchange. Silver closed in US dollars at $36.24. Wow. Unbelievable what's happening right now, guys. Let's go out to Pimbex and get an update. Come on, silver. Okay, silver's only down 17, $33.78. I want to remind you, basement dwellers, if you want to go back and watch some live streams from a year ago, it was absolutely, let's go look at the silver. Let me get rid of this stuff. Let's look at the silver price 1 year ago. That would have been, well, that's not going to work. That's there. 1 year chart. 1 year ago right now, the silver price was $23 per ounce. Let's go check at gold. And obviously we're up. If my math is correct, we are up $11. Here's gold. Okay, gold's up 1070. Let's look and see where gold was 1 year ago. Exactly 1 year. Man, look at that gold chart. Whew. We were below 2,000. Today we're at 2740. Hey, thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you to the moderators, right? Big Tim, the Silver Shire, Jake from Jake's Custom Parts, the one and only Annie Oakley. I think I saw Ann Williams on here today. I see Susie. Hello, Susie. Thank you for being here. I think we had a special guest, right? Our friend Roger from Bald Guy Money. Don't forget, go out and watch his latest video, Bald Guy Money. Thank you to our sponsors, First Mining Gold and Fortuna Mining. You can learn more about them at their respective websites. Don't forget, too, guys, if you're ever interested in storing some of your silver and gold underground, having a little buried treasure in a place where only you know about. I don't know if you can see that, but DirtyMan Safes, and there's a 10% off coupon you can use, Ron10. Let me show you this thing real quickly, very quickly. This is the little one. This is it. Huh? Okay, thank you. Okay, we got more to do. This is the little one. This is called the Dirty Girl. And if you know me, you know I like little miniature things. The bigger ones up there, that's the Dirty Old Man. Anyway, this thing is cool. I mean, I was really shocked. They sent this to me, and this is not a couple pieces of PVC pipe glued together. It's actually patent pending. You can learn a lot more about it at the DirtyMan SAFE website. I'm kind of excited. And don't forget, I'm going to be giving one away on December 30th. And what else? We're going to bury one on December 30th. If there's anything you want me and specifically to bury in it, let me know. Coin Shop Chris is here. Don't forget, guys, Coin Shop Chris, right? A guy who's been with our channel for a long, long time. A great guy. He's got his own channel now, Coin Shop Chris. Go check him out. Subscribe to his channel. He's been through a really rough period with what happened in Florida. He's getting back on track. Let's support him. He's a good guy. Thank you. What else was there was one more thing that I wanted to do before I got to blow the train whistle. We got 400 thumbs up. Here we go. That's 3 long whistles, which if you Google it means the train is leaving the station. The silver train is leaving the station. There's no more seats. All the seats, all the tickets have been taken. You're on the train. We'll have a great trip. Thanks, guys, for being here. Okay. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.